back to the Sidetrack'd podcast.
Oh my god. What are you talking about? We're really about to do this all over again.
Welcome back to Sidetrack'd. It's been a rough week, guys. As you know from the title, they banned TikTok. Moment of silence in the chat. Okay, we're done with that. And then I came back 12 hours later, and all I have to say is that none of this is real. Literally none of this is real. And I have my own theories and conspiracies. One, I just kind of hate the way all of that played out entirely. Every single aspect of the TikTok ban was unnecessary and stupid and wrong. I'm not trying to get too political, but it is political. It really is political. Like, I'm so sorry. It's most certainly political, but I just want to go over the whole history because about 9 months ago, I posted a podcast episode where I talked about like it going through, I think the Senate, I don't fucking know, but they basically passed the original like thing to ban TikTok. And originally, let's just be clear that I don't know how like TikTok censorship works, so I don't want to like suppress this video or anything, but originally how the ban got even put into place was Trump. Let's just put that out there from the get-go, because I'm going to go over the whole history of how this ban went through like the last 9 months, and then we're going to come back to the future because I got some shit to say. But essentially, a few years ago, Trump was all like, no, I don't like this app, I want it gone, right? And then there was definitely some jump scare moments. Like, I remember there was at least like 3 separate occasions where TikTok like stopped working, and people were freaking out thinking that he actually banned TikTok, which you can't just like ban an app like that, for one. But 9 months ago, when the bill like passed and they were saying like, yep, it's done, TikTok is banned, the consensus was like, based on like my knowledge of everything that was happening at the time, they were going to ban the app from the App Store, which has happened before. I don't remember what apps exactly, but I have known there to be apps that are not in the App Store that you can have on your phone and keep on using. So that was the consensus at the time 9 months ago. We wouldn't be able to re-download the app. It wouldn't be in the App Store, but we'd still be able to use it, okay? That's what they said 9 months ago. We go through this whole period of time, everyone's all like, oh, TikTok's getting banned, TikTok's getting banned, and no one really believed it because, again, Trump had threatened this before, and we'd had jump scares, but never anything, like, serious or legitimate. So no one was really taking it seriously up until, like, last week, where they were like, oh, yeah, we're done. Like, the TikTok CEO came back to America, and he was like, wait, actually? Fuck you guys. This is when everything changed, okay? So TikTok CEO comes to America and he's like, wait, I don't actually like that you guys are being bitches about this. So instead of Americans having access, even if you take it out the App Store, I'm just going to fully delete the American files, whatever the fuck that means. And they won't be able to use it even if they have the app. So that is on TikTok's part, not on Americans' part, not on the American government's part. And I remember sitting there and being all like, that's a strange stance to take after fighting for so long, to be all like, you know what, fuck Americans. And realistically, the whole point of that like little move was for Americans to put pressure on the government, as if Americans weren't. Like, I fear that there's a lot of Americans who rely on TikTok as a job, as their income to promote for their business, that a lot of people were putting pressure on the government to be all like, hey, this is crazy, don't do it, right? So for him to be all like, for show, the CEO of TikTok to be all like, actually, I want you to put more pressure on the government, so we're just going to take away the app from you. You won't have access, not even if, like, through VPN, whatever. Which irritated me at the time, but I was like, again, I think all of you are bluffing. I don't trust a single man on this earth. So, like, that did not faze me. And then it got to the night before the TikTok ban, which was supposed to be, I think the TikTok ban was supposed to go into effect January 19th. And on January 18th at like 10:30 p.m., the app went dark. Mind you, the 2 notifications we got prior to the app going dark, or we got 1 notification prior to the app going dark. It was like, I would say an hour and 30 minutes before TikTok actually got banned. We got a notification being all like, hey guys, this is actually your last day on the app. So, you know, Sorry, but we're thankful that Trump will work with us and all that stuff. Now, I know Trump won the election in November, but he wasn't president yet, actually. His term doesn't actually start until January 20th. So getting that message on January 18th, 2 days before he was actually inaugurated, seemed kind of sketch, not gonna lie. Also, never in my life have I ever gotten a notification on my phone, like via an app, talking about government officials. A notification is crazy. Like a TikTok post, okay. If it was like the CEO of TikTok sitting on his own personal TikTok account and being all like, hey guys, we're thankful that Trump is going to work with us, that'd be one thing. I got a notification with Trump's name in the notification. That's fucking weird. Nah, but getting a notification that said Trump's name was like eerie. Like, I don't know. Something about that was weird. Then the night that TikTok was being banned, the night before TikTok was supposed to be banned, I was going out, and at like 10:30, I get a call from someone, and they're screen sharing, and they're showing me that we got another notification that TikTok was banned. Mind you, it's 10:30 on January 18th. So that also like irked me in the ways that it was all like, what do you mean the app is going cold right now? Like, what do you mean by that? Like, what? That just seems unprofessional. Like, I don't know. You're like a big corporation. If you said the 19th, I'm expecting like 12 o'clock on the 19th, like midnight on the 19th, the app goes cold. Why are we here at 10:30 p.m. the night before talking about you can't use the app anymore? Hello? Question mark? Are we being dead ass? Like, the app was still in the app store at that time, so that's just like something about that just seemed weird to me. Mind you, the same in that notification as well, it was being all like, oh, Trump this, Trump that. I was like, what are we talking about? Literally, who are we? Because, like, again, going back, he is originally the person who wanted to ban TikTok. Now suddenly he's over here saving it, even though he's not in the office. Like, that also didn't make any sense, because 12 hours after the whole banning process went through, so like, what was it? It was like 10 a.m. the next day. TikTok was back up and running. And then the notification that you got when you were on the app was, oh, thanks to Trump's efforts, we have the app back. Again, had not been inaugurated yet. So what are we doing thanking Trump? What did he do? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. There's literally nothing he could have done to change that outcome. Mind you, the ban that would be put in, just in case you're not tracking, right? The ban only took TikTok out of the app store. The only thing that happened within the 12 hours was on TikTok's end, so not America, they shut down TikTok and then put it back up, none of which could have had anything to do with Trump. Now, I'm not sitting here and being all like, oh, like this, but it's weird. Like, no matter what side you're on, like, this is weird. Something is weird about that statement, trying to say that Trump somehow saved TikTok when he wasn't in office and couldn't have possibly had anything to do with that, because he didn't save TikTok. TikTok's still not in the App Store, which I thought was insane when I found out. Found out people had deleted TikTok and weren't able to get back on, I was like, that's insane. Like, y'all stand on business like no one, like me. That's one thing I can't, like, I try to cut people off and be all like, I'm fine without you. Actually, it takes me months before I get over something like that. And some of you bitches were all like, oh, TikTok's gone, delete from phone. And I was like, whoa, body's not even cold yet and you're over here like moving on to the next. That's crazy work. No, but like, I genuinely also, like, on top of just like, I don't like pulling the trigger on stuff, I was never ever going to delete TikTok off my phone, even if this ban never like gets taken back and TikTok is banned forever and like Americans get phased out because they can't use updates, because that's originally what was going to happen. I'm still going to have the app on my phone because realistically it doesn't take that much space. I also have a phone with like a lot of storage on it because I used to like vlog on my phone. So when I was buying it, I got like a phone with like a lot of storage on it. So like phone space, not an issue. Also, TikTok is genuinely the only app that I use. And I mean that so seriously. Like, all the other apps could disappear and I'd pretty much be fine. TikTok is the only thing that keeps me on my phone. During the 12 hours that it was banned, I think I tapped on the TikTok icon at least 20 times. And that is not an exaggeration. I'd go on my phone, I'd see the app, I'd press on it, and then I'd be like, oh, right. And then I put my phone down because I literally have nothing else to do on my phone. I don't use Snapchat unless I'm like spewing like just random bullshit to my own private story. I don't even watch other people's stories. Like that's like, I don't use Snapchat like that. I don't even keep up any of my streaks anymore. So that completely useless. Instagram, the only time you're going to see me on Instagram is if I'm trying to make a home ad. I'm being so for real right now. Unless I'm reposting something that like I think to spread awareness or whatever, like unless I'm spreading awareness or trying to make a home ad, you will not see me on that app. Also, Instagram just has like crazy updates all the fucking time. Like it's actually so annoying because like I have I think 6 Instagram accounts. Don't ask. I have 6 Instagram accounts and each and every single one of them is on a different version of Instagram. Each and every single one of them. And that is so incredibly irritating because the only explore page that I actually ever use is my main Instagram. And that's just to get inspo for pictures that I want to post on my Instagram. And a few, like I would say 2-3 months ago, they switched that page to look more like TikTok. So you would press on a photo and it looked like you were scrolling through TikTok. And I hated that update. So I just stopped using the app altogether. Literally the only apps I really use are TikTok and YouTube. So once TikTok was banned, I was like, I don't actually need to use my phone anymore. Like that is literally the only thing I do on my phone. If you know me in any capacity, you know that I am obsessed with the app for various reasons. Like we did lose a lot with everything that went down. Like off like rip, it's just a place where you can find a lot of niche groups that you can't really find outside. Like I've been a part of like fandoms on like for like the longest time. I think I've been a part of fandoms since I was like 14 years old. And I was like a part of like a few fandoms like on Instagram, but like never anything as like tightly knit as the fandoms that I find on TikTok. Like, I don't know, just like that aspect of TikTok is so much better than any other app I've ever used. Like finding people who understand your niche. Like I'm always like going on to like my private story on Snapchat or my close friends on Instagram and being like, guys, I don't know if this is too niche. And for TikTok, it's never too niche. You could literally talk about anything and you're going to find at least 15 other bitches who resonate with what you're saying. And that is just like, it's just such a gem of an app. And that's why I spend all my time on it. Like literally you cannot send me a single TikTok, which is actually bad. And I'm trying to fix this, but it's so hard because I love the app dearly. But like most likely 9 times out of 10, if you're sending me a TikTok because you think I'm going to like it, I've already seen it. It's already come across my For You page probably 2 weeks ago. You're late to the party. I'm so sorry. Like I can't not be on that app. And I know it sounds like, oh, she's chronically online or whatever, but like TikTok is so much more than just like entertainment. I mean, it is for a lot of people, but like when I was going through the process the night before TikTok was supposed to be banned of saving all my videos, which I now have every single TikTok that I've ever posted on my laptop, which is insane just a little bit because I treat my TikTok like a private story, which is why no one's like honestly, if you know me in real life, you're not allowed on my TikTok unless you like ask me. Like I'm so like, yes, it is public and you can go on it whenever you want, but I'm gonna advise you to stay away because it literally is like a private story. Any thought that I have goes onto that app because why not? Like I know it's not private, I know it's not a private story. I remember being crazy and saying anything out of pocket, but it's not like my brain is like a sane place to be. I've said this before, but like being in my mind is like that one episode of SpongeBob where Squidward gets lost in like SpongeBob's brain files and can't figure out anything. That's what it's like all the fucking time. And I was saying this to my therapist earlier, but it's like that episode of SpongeBob with We Didn't Start the Fire playing on top of it. That's what it's like in my brain 24/7. So in order for that not to drive me absolutely insane, I have to spew anything that's in my head into TikTok and just hope it hits the right people. Because you can't say up here. If that all had to stay in my head all the time, I'd go mental. But no, when I was saving all these TikToks the night before, I was saving my own TikToks that I posted myself, but I was also trying to save like all the collections I've curated because, again, I use this app a lot, but I have 11,000 saved TikToks on that app, and of those 11,000, I have 100 collections like organizing these 11,000 videos. Not all of them are organized right now. I would say like everything from 2023 to like I believe 2018 is when I started saving TikToks. So like anything from that period of time all filtered into those 100 collections. Anything from 2024 until right now, not filtered at all. I actually have been going through the process of organizing them because for like a very long period of time, I would just like save TikToks and not put them into the correct folders because I got 100 folders. It's very annoying when I'm trying to doom scroll on TikTok to like put stuff into the proper categories or whatever. But I have a lot. So I was trying to save my collections because like a lot of my stuff is like very educational. Like I would say that was one thing. I'm going to make most of them private by the time this video goes up, so don't even try looking. But before, to do that process, I had to make a bunch of collections public. And TikTok was fully up for like, I would say 24 hours before I realized that I still had my collections unprivated. Because like, most of them are normal. Like, most of them are chill, calm, like TikTok collection names. Like, I believe I have one that's like called like baking and like what's another one that I have that isn't too crazy? I have a whole this is actually so stupid. I have a whole fucking folder dedicated to wedding stuff because I'll like see 2023 brides or 2024 brides planning stuff smartly. Like they'll be all like, oh, things that you don't think about when you're getting ready for your wedding. And I'm all like, no, I definitely need this, even though I'm nowhere near getting married anytime soon. I need a collection telling me what to do. I actually invited a few people to my wedding recently. I'm always inviting people to my wedding, even though it's nowhere close to any time in the future. Like, not even in the next 5 years. Let's just be clear. I'm not getting married anytime soon. But I like inviting people to my wedding. But for some reason, anytime I ask someone to come to my wedding, they're all like, oh yeah, sure, when is it? Why are you asking me questions like that? Stop. When it happens, and you're invited. So I don't know why you want a date so bad. It'll happen when it happens. But those are my tame TikTok collections, you know? I have a few collections that should never see the light of day. And the names of these collections are very much directed at people. Like, I have collections where I'm all like, oh, like they relate to stuff that's happened in my personal life. And because no one can see them because they're private, I name them crazy things. And all of my collection were public at one point. And yes, no one really looks at that little collections tab when you go on TikTok. But it was a very scary, like 12 hours where I was all like, oh my God, anyone and everyone could have seen these titles, and I just beg and pray that no one did, or specifically the people who they were about. Like, I don't really care if anyone knows about. Well, I kind of care. I'm not gonna lie, but no, this whole entire thing is bull. Just going back to that, like, to get rid of the educational, like, there's so many good things that come out of this app, and I would argue to say that genuinely zero bad came out of this app. I know that they were trying to argue like a few. Like, when the first TikTok ban originally got put into place, they were all like, oh, there was a trend. I think it was called chroming, which, again, never heard of this trend before it got brought to court. It was never showing up on my For You page, okay? And just so you know, a For You page is exactly that. It's exactly that. If you want to watch it, it's going to show it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you interact with the content, it's going to show you more of it. So, if you're ever sitting there and being all like, oh, TikTok is so like weird, like it's always showing me like just very provocative videos, and so like this is a kids app, that's only your For You page, only yours. Okay, you're telling on yourself. Stop telling people that your For You page is weird, because it's telling on you. Okay, my For You page is funny as fuck. Guess what? Because I am what? Funny as fuck. Thank you. No, but deadass, like, they brought this like trend, I guess, called chroming to like court when they were first initially like talking to the CEO of TikTok, and they were like, kids are dying because of this. And I think it's just whippets. Like, I'm pretty sure that was the trend that they were talking about. And I'm like, y'all are acting like whippets didn't exist before TikTok. Your generation literally made it popular. What are you talking about? Hello? Question mark? Like, what are we talking about? I don't care. Also, if you're stupid enough to do that shit, that's on you. That's fully on you. Am I supposed to sit here and feel bad for someone who's all like, let me inhale the contents of a whipped cream can? Like, the fuck? You, like, seriously, pick up a hobby instead of, like, trying to do weird shit. But again, I've never seen these TikTok trends beforehand, right? And if we're talking about safety of apps and, like, stuff, like, challenges and stuff like that, there have been so many worse and more dangerous trends that I've actually seen people do that happened way before TikTok was a thing. So that's just a load of bullshit. But what I want to say is that everything going on with the ban and the whole Trump like notifications and all that stuff, that just seems like a load of bullshit. And I did see like little conspiracy TikTok. One, now TikTok's run rampant with conspiracy. And that's also highly irritating because every other video is either about Trump's like presidency or some weird conspiracy. And I love a good conspiracy. Y'all know I love a good conspiracy, but not everything needs to be a little think piece conspiracy. Yes, I'm talking about this now, but genuinely everything I'm saying is based in fact. Like, off rip, we knew that they were going to take TikTok off the App Store and that we would still have access to it. Now show's saying that he's taking down the American files, and then suddenly it comes back up and he's thanking Trump for that, even though Trump wasn't in office. And now literally we're going through the same process. Like, literally TikTok is still banned. No one saved TikTok. If you see, like, Trump, I think Trump like posted on, what was it, Truth Social or maybe X, I don't know which one he's on, but I think that's what everyone was like referring to, because he also posted something saying that, oh, I saved TikTok. No one saved TikTok. It's still actively banned. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. TikTok is still banned in the US. Let's just be clear on that statement right now. TikTok is still very much banned and no one has saved it. So that's its own thing. I don't actually know what point I was going to get to before, but I got very angry at that little statement. What was I saying 2 seconds ago? Hold up. Oh, conspiracies. Yeah, I saw a video on TikTok. Y'all know we're sidetracked. I get sidetracked very easily. I'm so sorry, but stick with me. You'll track. But I saw a TikTok, and this was the only conspiracy video where I was like, I didn't watch it to through its entirety, but what he did say I vibed with. I just didn't want TikTok to keep on showing me conspiracy videos, so I scrolled past it. See how I educated. I'm not gonna get sidetracked again, but see how I go through my For You page as if I'm being intentional with what I watch. Like, if you don't want to watch something, keep on scrolling. TikTok literally can see that data. Like, that's literally the data that they're collecting. They're looking at what you like, and then they're giving you more of what you like. So if you keep on watching a video, it's regardless of whether you like it or not, if you watch it through its entirety, they're gonna send you more videos. But I did watch like the first 5 seconds, and basically he was alluding to the fact that the TikTok algorithm doesn't feel the same, which I can attest to. I use the app like literally 24/7. Like, that is my most used app. I think I get like probably like 40 hours a week. I don't know. Like, it's like a full-time job for me. I mean, I do post on it, so it makes sense why I'm on it so much. But that being said, he was basically insinuating that the reason why the reason why TikTok is getting banned is because they refuse to sell to an American-owned company or something like that. Which, I mean, why would you? Which is exactly why I think this whole show thing is weird, because why would he? But basically the video was essentially getting to the point of the only reason Americans wanted it was because of the algorithm. Like, the algorithm collects pretty good data. Like, that's how the algorithm works. So he was essentially saying that in the 12 hours that TikTok was down, they changed the American algorithm. And when they eventually do so, because this is what he was basically saying, that they were eventually going to sell within the 90 days that Trump gave an extension. I don't even know if that part is true. I don't know if there's anything in terms of extensions or whatever. But I do know that they changed the algorithm in 12 hours, or like this is the theory that they changed the algorithm in the 12 hours that TikTok was down for the US, so that when they do eventually sell, they're not actually selling the thing that Americans wanted in the first place, that they're going to get like a watered down version of the algorithm, so they still won't have what they wanted in the first place. Which part of me does think that that could be true, don't get me wrong, but part of me is like, if you a little, like, and I'm not saying that TikTokers are dumb at anything, but if you, a civilian, could figure it out, don't you think the government would figure that out too? And be like, hey, this isn't the same shit. Maybe they won't. I'm not saying that the government is necessarily smarter than us. I don't think that they are. I think that they're more organized in a sense, which is why they have so much power. But I think that overall, they're not exactly the most brightest people. They're just average Joes. You know what I'm saying? But that would make a lot of sense. I know my TikTok algorithm hasn't been as like nice as I usually see it. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, something is definitely up with the app. I keep on getting videos that have like my entire For You page for at least like 10 scrolls will be videos that have 0 likes whatsoever, and that hasn't happened since like the beginning of TikTok. Like, you'll get occasionally a video that doesn't have a lot of likes on it, but is trending upwards. But like, I've been getting a lot of videos that have no views whatsoever. I've also been seeing that my views have been down too. Granted, I did post a little bit of a political TikTok, but I don't know if that is the reason. And on top of that, a lot of things have been just weirdly censored recently. Like, for years, we've been able to talk openly about, you know, crises going on around the world, administration policies, all that stuff. Now suddenly there's just a lot of things that are censored, and we're seeing from like people who are in Europe, people who are in Canada, like that they don't have the same restrictions on their accounts either. Like, they're allowed to freely send the videos that we can't send. So I don't know. I'm a little skeptical of what happened in those 12 hours, because there was realistically, like, everyone's calling it a PR stunt, but I think something did happen in those 12 hours, that they were anticipating something going down in those 12 hours that we don't have access to knowing. I want to be in the room where it happened. Sorry. That's literally also the edits that I'm getting based on like everything that's happened. Oh, they're so good. They're usually Hamilton, like, songs talking about, like, Trump, show, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, which, fuck all of those hoes. I'm so sorry. Every single person I just named, fuck them. Literally, I hate you. Anyways, no, but the edits have gone, like, they're just too good. They are too good. This is why I love the app. Because, like, where am I getting my edits? Like, the edits on Instagram, and maybe it was because it was, like, literally 2017, but they never hit as hard as the edits I get on my account. Like, ooh. And you're getting mass edits, too. I love TikTok. I cannot express how much this app has done for my life. Like, genuinely. The amount of friends I have made via that app, the amount of communities I've been able to reach, like, the stuff that has impacted me and the stuff I've been able to do to impact others is actually insane. And it's crazy to me that, like, people like to dumb this out into just, like, some, like, doom scrolling app. I mean, you can definitely use it that way. There are definitely people who probably aren't getting any of the educational information that I get on my TikTok page. I know that for a fact. But I do know for a lot of people, it is extremely educational. Like, genuinely, a lot of people just don't have access to stuff, and TikTok gives us access to spaces that we never had access to before. I've seen just on my For You page today a bunch of people who are in social media and sports talking about how they got into it, and talking about how literally, like, this app opens doors for people that we didn't have before this app, like with acting, with modeling, with like all these, like, basically, like, what were used to be considered like very like high echelon, like you need to know someone to get in there. We didn't need that anymore with TikTok. Like, you got people producing their own music and being popular on TikTok without a big label behind them, which is like unheard of before this app. Like, the amount of good that came out of this app is like too, like, it's crazy to sit here and dumb it down to just like some kids dancing app when it's done numbers for so many people. Like, what is it, like half of America? Half of the American population is on TikTok or something like that. Like, this app is such a great place for so many people. And yes, it has its downsides, as does all social media. But if we're going to talk about, like, people unknowingly collecting data, there are so many other American apps. And that's, like, literally the only problem, that you don't have our data. That American companies and the American government don't have our data. But you do. You have, like, a million other apps that have our data. So I don't know why you need TikTok's algorithm. But that's just what I want to leave this as. I just want to, like, express my thoughts, because I think all of this is kind of stupid. Like, everything that's going on right now. And this week has been a lot. The TikTok ban right before the inauguration and, like, all this stuff that's going on now. I was not expecting this week to, like, hit me like a bus, but it did. I said this in the last episode, which was like 2 weeks ago. I wasn't expecting 2025 to hit that hard, but it has. It has. I don't know, guys. I'm scared. Clutches pearls. I'm scared. But that's where we're gonna leave today's episode. You can follow up with the you can follow up with the podcast at Sidetrack'd Podcast on all social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok. You know the drill. And if you want to keep up with this beautiful face, you know where to find me, Mary Jo Jessica on Instagram and maryjo.jessica on TikTok. I will talk to you later. Imagine if I wasn't deathly ill right now. I almost threw up like 5 times during this episode, by the way.